we started? Oh, yeah, we have. Excellent. Yes, welcome back to the Change Faces podcast. I'm your host, James Chang, back in the hot seat once again. And here we are at episode 4. And we've got more stuff to come. How exciting does that sound? We've got a whole host of stuff coming up to you for you today. We've got all sorts of things, such as what happens if you drink a few beers and then you maybe then go home, but then you actually end up going to the club straight afterwards. We've got another interesting concept done by Virgil Abloh based on some of the stuff that we covered in the previous episodes in regards to DJ equipment designs. We've got interesting concepts for live streaming. We've got stuff to do with the Sphere, Las Vegas. We've got Brooklyn Mirage. We've got the news is coming around that as well in New York. We've got something going on in Vilnius in Lithuania. We've got something happening to talk about for Digital Festival in Amsterdam. And then we've got a bit old now, but we've got a few things to cover just in regards to Coachella. But luckily for you lots, I am not alone because Dave Collins is here as well. Here he is. Look,
I'm back again.
Dave's back again, and not only that, but Dave's in a new location again.
Yeah,
you stop moving around, mate. What are you doing?
I just can't help it, mate. Just can't help it.
Yeah, welcome back to the show. This time round, not even this time round, but once again, we tried to get Dan on the show because we keep talking about him. But he said that he is working tonight. So unfortunately, he is unavailable for a 4th time. It's a quadruple. Dave, how are you getting on since we last did episode 3? From there until now, how have you been getting on?
Feels like months ago. It feels like years ago nearly.
Honestly, I mean, it was
a lifetime ago.
Yeah, it was 1 whole month ago. It's been a wee while, hasn't it? I've just thought, let's just quickly do a face for the thumbnail. There we go. Nailed it. So to give people a wee bit of an update, one of the things that we will be talking about later on in the show is just a review of mine and Dave's travels, because recently we have been to Malta not to do much work, but just to party and relax and everything. And we attended 2 festivals over on the Maltese Riviera. And we will be talking a little bit about that later on. Hopefully, it won't give us the blues too much because we've been back now for a little while. But
it's been
Oh well, I mean, we are going to get into that. So that will be to come. But first things first, Dave. Obviously, as what's come as like a ongoing tradition is to me just randomly show you things that I've seen from just from in and around the internet, which this one will show now. So this has come from Club Space. If you can if you can see that, the caption says tomamos un par de cervezas y nos vamos a casa. Yo una hora después. Or just después. So that is basically saying, let's take a few beers and then we go back home, and then it's me an hour after.
It's the fact that when he falls over, he's like a goat. He just stiffens up. It's like
my favorite is, how long does he stay upside down for?
I would have left him on there all night.
He's at it for absolutely ages. And my other favorite bit is that the DJ does not. He doesn't look like he's aware of what's going on either. He just.
I think this opens up a can of worms for me, mate, which I think we should talk about at some point, which is who belongs behind a DJ booth, right?
Well, someone like him, maybe not so much, but that was.
Like, how many people are behind him right there, and they're just pissing about? Like, it always used to sort of trigger me a bit when that happened, man. Like, honestly, but yeah, that's pretty funny.
What I love about this the most is that whilst he's upside down, I mean, he could have entered that DJ space, but he he backed out of it after that. So yeah, yeah, that is what can happen if you do take a few beers and you want to try and go home, but then you end up in club space in Miami. So shout out to any of those participants that have been there in the past or even present. And actually, this isn't. We're probably going to talk about this again in another episode, but there's a. I'm sure it's in Miami where they've opened up the Palm Beach Club, which is run by Kygo. I think that was another ongoing thing going on in over stateside, or it might be in LA, but I think it's in Miami. But we're going to quickly move on to this next piece I want to show you, Dave. So you remember in the previous episodes, we were talking about some concept designer equipment. We're talking about Pioneer stuff, and I want you to get your opinion on this one. So in the previous episode, we spoke about Virgil Abloh collaborating with the brand Off-White when they created this beautiful Pioneer DJ controller and CDJs and mixer that was all like see-through, basically like a transparent plastic. This one, however, Dave Collins, is another one which he did, and it was like a beautiful white with orange. So this is just the control, the DDJ 1000. Let me see. So this is the lady that's got it there with a beautiful orange on it, and look at that. Check that out as well. So that's the mix. That's the mixers and CDJs. Look at how strong that color is.
I'm a fan. I love it again. Honestly.
Yeah. Do you think Virgil Abloh has hit the nail on the head
perfect.
again?
I don't quite know why there's only one deck which is orange. I would have made both of them orange, but it looks sick. Yeah, I love it.
Now the question is, do you prefer the DDJ 1000 design, or do you prefer this one, which is the CDJs? Let me show you. What do you reckon?
The CDJs, because I like the knob caps are orange against the white background. Looks really cool.
That's what I was thinking as well. I don't know why it makes me think about Star Wars when I look at this.
I mean, it's a shame Dan isn't there, because I'm sure he'll be able to tell us a lot about Star Wars, right?
Well, even this design as well. So
it's the audio design, you know, like white and black. Like
yeah, like I actually think the control looks great with this design.
Imagine having the white mixer and then two black CDJs. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that'd be nice as well, actually. For audio listeners, what we're looking at here is an exclusive design done by Virgil Abloh in collaboration with Off-White for two signature designs for the Pioneer DDJ 1000, which is where the mixer is white and one of the decks is white, but the other deck on the right side is bright orange, and then the CDJs and mixer follows a similar pattern. You've got one CDJ that is all white, the mixer is all white, and the CDJ on the right is all orange. However, the mixer has orange caps and knobs and so on. This probably sounds really boring as an audio description. Oh, there you go. Dave Collins has got a...
It looks a bit like a Stadia pad, like with the orange accents and stuff, right?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, and I didn't realize you still had the controller for a Google Stadia. Like that was
I've got a bunch of them.
that was a fun time, wasn't it?
I actually didn't. I got them second hand because you can flash them to put them in Bluetooth mode. So
oh yeah,
they're just nice little pads actually. So a little hack for you if you want some cheap pads.
A wee hack. Let me just quickly read just some of this. This is a courtesy of Gorp Cortex on Instagram, who wrote this post with, quote, a fusion of sound engineering and art, the iconic collaboration between Pioneer DJ and Off-White, led by Virgil Abloh's creative vision, gave rise to the DDJ 1000 OW, a limited edition controller that transcends traditional DJing functionality. Based on the popular DDJ-1000, it retains its professional 4-channel structure, full-size jog wheels, and seamless record box integration, but with a radically different aesthetic. The translucent design and neon orange accents reflect Abloh's philosophy, where fashion, art, and music converge into a single object. Beyond its striking appearance, the DDJ-1000 OW also serves as a statement on the democratization of music and DJ culture. This visual reinterpretation of clubbing technology challenges conventional perceptions, encouraging artists to see their tools from a fresh perspective. Released in 2021, this special edition quickly became a coveted piece for both DJs and collectors. Dave Collins, when I come to you, of course, for the idea of Virgil Abloh's philosophy where fashion, art, and music converge into a single object. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on that statement?
I mean, is he saying that this is a merge of those concepts, or is it just like an example of his style?
It's like basically saying the equipment you use should also be pieces of art or fashion.
Yeah, why not? You know, I reckon this is sort of because I think this looks good. I thought the previous see-through design looked really good, and I'm sort of reminded a bit of like the PS5 because you can buy faceplates for the PS5, right?
Yeah.
And, people have got custom faceplates out for now for this thing, and so the idea is everyone's PS5 can look different. You just buy different overlays for it, and I'm like, man, DJ kit should be similar. How sick would it be to just have your own custom like overlay for your decks or something? I reckon this is something Pioneer should do. Their next release, they should let you sort of edit the colors at least, or buy special editions you can customize. It'd be really cool.
I will admit, I think Virgil Abloh is really hitting the nail on the head with this type of design. There's something about it. I think I just love, particularly this mixer, the white with the orange caps. I think it's a simple but very beautiful design.
Yeah, definitely. I want to see more. Looks good.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to be like, oh, I really want to buy one, but like, let's be honest here. It's not really, it's not really going to be. Yeah, it's like a massive cha-ching, and we don't really change base here. Don't really have the budgets for buying Virgil Abloh limited edition off-white Pioneer DJ gear. But hey, shout out to anyone listening or watching who has something like that, or at least has customized their Pioneer DJ gear, because I have not done so. Dave, have you done that with yours?
I used to buy custom knobs, so to speak. So I used to get like I know with a lot of MIDI controllers and stuff, the knobs they come with are a bit crap, but you could buy the ones online that are a bit more robust. You can even buy metal ones, sort of thing, if you really want to be Mr. Bling. But it's really cool. That was like a really nice little thing to do. But yeah, I'm all for customization. I think it's something that would be really good to see, because it's true. When you go to a club, it'd be nice to see. Say you go to like High or something, Ibiza, and all their decks are sort of customized, and they're like unique customized versions for that club. It'll look really sick, I think. So yeah, why not?
It's interesting you say that, actually, because I know that, with some vinyl DJ gear like Technics and so on, if I'm not mistaken, I've often seen like custom like matte plates that they put on top of the of the where the vinyls go. I'm sure I've seen something like that. Like you can put like your own like custom rubber mat thing on the top when it's not in use, and that would be technically the same thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, custom slip mats have been a thing for years, but I think you're talking about like deck savers or some sort of like
yeah,
to stop the deck being like wrecked by people putting a shit on top of it. So yeah, again, I think it's a good idea. I don't know why people don't do it more. So yeah.
Well, watch this space. Obviously, Virgil Abloh is obviously no longer with us, but you never know. There may be others stepping into the frame to work on these fashionable collaborations with some DJ gear. Obviously, our podcast is obviously all about talking about nightlife culture, but the whole DJ discussion train ain't stopping anytime soon, because the next thing we're going to quickly look at is an interesting concept that was seen on, I think it was during Coachella. And Dave, I want to get your insight on this. It's to do with live streaming, but check this out. So what you're seeing here is the caption says, "Can't fake DJ on this live stream." This is by Club Killers on Instagram. And this was, beg your pardon. This was the Ultra live stream, and it shows what's playing on the decks while Zed is performing.
Oh, cool.
On each side. What do you reckon about that?
I've seen a few DJs on Twitch do this. I think it's pretty cool. I like the idea of it. It must be a pain in the ass to set up, to be honest with you. I can't imagine it's easy.
Yeah, but, I do also like that was the first. It's funny you should say it, because that was the first thing I was thinking of, was that how is that data fed into a live stream? Like,
I don't know.
Someone manually doing that. You know what I mean?
I mean, you'd hope it's automatic, right? But I don't know. I think it's a cool idea. The one thing I always thought, even when I've seen it on Twitch, I think it's good so long as you don't see the track being prepared ahead of time. So if in that video, for example, do you see he's got the left deck's playing, and the right deck looks like he's not playing it yet. He's like prepping it.
Yeah.
And I always like that feeling when a DJ just slams in a surprise tune and you don't expect it. And I think that might ruin some of those moments if you know what's coming. Do you know what I mean?
Agreed.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking, and yeah, that was my initial thoughts as well. And I want to bring you to this attention of this comment by at Mr. Legwork. He has commented saying, quote, "This is from Show Control, or Show Control with a capital K, all as one word. It's a program that lets the lighting and sound engineers up front see the track titles, waveforms, etc., so they can react appropriately. Old tech, still cool, but like 20 years old, nothing all that special."
Yeah, I mean, 20 years old is pretty old, man. That's like 2005, so I don't know if he's exaggerating there, but I mean, I don't know, man. I'll take his word for it, man. I can't say he's lying, because I've literally not seen it really before, so.
Yeah, it's quite funny as well, because someone else here says, at Gratian Official says, "Y'all be so confused watching me because I don't even know what I'm doing when I'm making it up as I go."
It'd be kind of funny to see like a DJ panicking on the decks behind the scenes, like, "Oh shit, where's my hot cues? Shit," and you're like rewind, find it quick and shit.
Truth be told, actually, last night I was DJing at the Alchemist and Bevis Marks, and one of the things that I always wonder what people think if they are staring at me. I don't know. I know some people do, but one of the things that I often think about is, I'm sure you get this as well, Dave, but like in my head, I'll have like I'm playing a track, and like I'll know what I'm playing next, but I'm trying to figure out the next two tracks after the next track. And so often what I do is I'm sort of stood there and I'm like bobbing my head, you know, and then I'm like trying to think about what matches the next track. So I'm like sort of like singing the next track in my head or humming it. And like as I'm doing it, I'm sort of stood there like just like gazing into space, like, yeah, what's that song? What's that song? And it is literally just me like constantly thinking about the like me trying to figure out what the track is, because what often happens is, I don't know whether you get this as well, but I will hear the track in my head, but I forget what it's called.
I've got a few hacks for that. First one is, don't remember track names, but remember record labels. And
yeah,
the reason I say that is because remembering a track name and an artist is kind of hard, because you forget the track name quite quickly, right? Because the track names seem kind of random. Like the titles are random, or you don't always remember the track name, but you always remember which label the artist is on. So if you remember the label and you remember the artist, with those two bits of information, you can bring up every single bit of music that artist played on that label, which 9 times out of 10 will only be a small selection of tracks. So that's hack one. And then hack two, I learned ages ago, is use the comments field on your tracks, because I used to play DJ tracks in triples. And what I mean by that is I call them to sort of quote Judge Dredd, if you remember that film, triple whammies, right? And the idea is, here's a track that works amazingly well with two others, and I put which two other tracks will work like it, and I tag it the triple whammy tracks. And the idea was, if I played that track, I'd know the next 2 tracks just by heart. And then once you do it enough, you can chain your collection together with them, because you realize once you get to the second track in your triple whammy, you can go off into a different one, right? And you sort of chain them together like this. And that's when your collection gets so easy to manage. It's insane. So a lot of it's prep, I think. But
I'll definitely say that, because it is a mixture of that, because like I'm sure you'll get this as well, but and I'm sure all the DJs will agree on this as well. But like often, like on my USB, when I'm trying to play certain music, like last night, for example, I've got like over 1,000 tracks in one playlist, and the thing is, I'm playing 6 hours, which is roughly 80 to 90 tracks, but I've got 1,000. Do you know what I mean? And it's funny because sometimes I always think, oh my God, I don't know what to play. I don't know what tracks to play. But I'm thinking, hang on a second. I've got 1,000 tracks. Like,
you get overwhelmed.
I'm going to find something, right?
Yeah. Like we've talked about our DJing before, and you've seen, like, when I prepare a set for Changing Faces, and you see me do this live, I'll have an idea for I'll have a playlist.
Yeah.
And I'll have an intro track in mind and maybe 2 others. And the rest is literally a playlist of 30 tracks. And I'll just randomly select from that playlist. But the idea is less is more in a weird sort of way, because if I had a playlist of like 2,000 tracks, I'd get lost. I don't know what I'm doing. There's too much choice. But if I've only got 30 and I sort of prepared ahead of time, this is going to be an uplifting sort of set. It's easy as pie. So that's like sometimes just, I've literally done a set on 2 CDs before, right? Because you don't need more. If you have more, it sort of makes it harder to do the set. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, I definitely hear you on that, because sometimes, it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes I do get that fright of thinking, oh my God, I don't know what to play, because there's so much I'm like looking around for. And when you're scrolling for it constantly, and it's often when I'm like that, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know what to play. Like, oh my God.
Another one is, this is the last top tip from Dave. Always save your playlists, what you played last week or last show. Always write down a playlist of what you played in your set, because I can guarantee you, in 5 years' time, you're going to be like, I want to play one of my old classic tracks, and you won't have a fucking clue what you played 5 years ago. But if you save those into little crates, you can go back to your set from 2010, and you'll have pretty much an entire set list that is guaranteed to work, and you can mix and match between all of them. And that's like once you build up your set collections, that's such a nice thing to have those, like, the ability to say, I'm going to go back to 2004 and play one of my tracks I used to love back then. Because what track you used to love playing back in 2006, for example? And I bet you can't name it.
No, because I wasn't even DJing back then.
No, but I'm just saying, like, it's hard, right? You're like, I don't know. But if you've got it in your history as a bucket, you'll say, oh yeah, like, of course, it's Bijano or something, right? Or 2008 or something like that, right? So
I do get that when I look at, actually what I get it off is old Changing Faces radio shows. Like when I was mixing for that, I often go back to some of the really old episodes and I think, oh my God, I was mixing that type of stuff back then. But yeah, that was it. Yeah, there you go. We're going to continue with a bit more. Maybe not so much for DJing, but this is some good news. It's a bit old, so just bear with me, because it's important to note that the content I got for this episode was done. I had to get it done before me and Dave went off to Malta for 2 weeks, so the news would have been a bit fresher had we had not gone away, or if I'd done the work in Malta. But I'm sure you can understand, I didn't really want to do that whilst I was on holiday. So anyway, so this one is quite old. It's slightly old, but just bear with me. But it's good news, and we love good news, don't we, Dave? All good news. But this is we're going to take it back to something that we were briefly speaking about in the last episode. So we previously spoke about in episode 3 about the Sphere in Las Vegas that recently. It's been open for a while now, but they've been recently conducting a few live shows and performances and so on. And one of those people being Anima, who is one half of Tale of Us, who has absolutely exploded onto the scene over in the US in particular. And some of his fascinating live shows in the Sphere has actually raised over $300,000 for the California wildfire relief, which is great news for the California region. $5 from every ticket sold to those final dates from 27th of February to the 2nd of March went to the fund in support of those in California affected by the recent fires. Yeah, we love that though, don't we, Dave? We love a bit of money raising for the California wildfire relief, because obviously a lot of lives were changed during that wildfire, and I imagine, well, that won't get fixed for years. So obviously, every little helps.
Yeah, definitely. It's nice to see the generosity, the sentiment, right? So yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, and also I think it's also important to note that, you know, going to the Sphere is not cheap. Going to these performances is not cheap, and like it's all a huge cost. So of course it's definitely good to see.
How much is the Sphere? I've not even looked at prices.
It's I saw it in the previous episode, but I just know it's not cheap. It's not something you'd be like, oh hey, do you want to go to the Sphere randomly? You know what I mean? Like you got to sort of book up a few bucks, so to speak.
Ever since we saw the Sphere, like in last week's episode, I always thought we've been to like the shitty version of that years ago.
Yeah.
Do you remember going to Creamfields 2010 and there was a tent and there was like a dome with a space in it or something?
Yeah. Oh my god, like, I remember that.
It's like that's like a really crappy version of what the LA Sphere is. Oh no, the Vegas Sphere, sorry.
Yeah, my god, I remember that. Yeah, Dave's referring to it was a very small tent, if I remember. They only had a capacity of maybe 50 people.
We saw Zed in there. That's how long ago it was.
God, yeah, that was a very long time ago. That was a really cool concept. I'm sure I've got a video of that somewhere. But and it's funny actually, because we're gonna go from obviously talking about the Sphere, and we're gonna be quickly moving on to a funny topic that we've all had. I swear to God, I even had this last night, which I'll get into in a second. I just need to check for the audio for a second, because I can't remember if it has audio or not. Oh no, there's no audio. Okay, so that's fine. So what I'm going to quickly show you now, Dave, it's something that we've all been there before, and it's another DJ topic, but it's just in regards to being haggled, basically, for song requests and so on.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, whilst I wait for the video to start, hang on, I think it's going to start again in a second, because I'll admit the guy does very well. So I'm just going to quickly show you now. So this is like, there you go. So this is the beginning of it. So the girl saying, "Can you play One Girl Wonder," whatever it is, by Rihanna? He says, "I've already played it." She says, "No," and he says, "I played it 5 minutes ago." 7 minutes earlier, he says he was playing it, so he said no. And then he's saying, "I'm trying to pick songs." And he keeps saying, "I literally played it 5 minutes ago." And look how long she's there for, mate. DJ Goddess fallen in love. She's requesting. Bless him. He's looking it up while she's like hanging around, really close. 2 minutes later.
Frustrating.
Oh, look, there you go. Look, so she's coming back again, leaning over, looking at his computer screen, waving the phone. She's yelling. And then he posts a response saying $20, and she says no, and she's yelling "Sex on Fire," and then she's super pissed off by
Why
that.
is she pissed off about not paying him a tip for playing her record? That's a bit just I don't know. And $20 is a big tip, but still.
What I will say though, what we're seeing here is I mean, how often does it happen? It happens quite a bit. It happened to me last night, quite literally, but it didn't end in this way for me. But essentially, for audio listeners, what we're referring to, it's a video of a DJ at a DJ booth, what appears to be your everyday bar or like your weekend club, so to speak. And the poor guy, he's trying to mix. He's got his tracks loaded up on his laptop, and this girl just is not leaving him alone. She's
I mean,
haggling him.
a lot of this is the booth, I think, because the booth design lets people like hang over the side like that. You can just tell someone's done that with a drink at some point and like spilled it all over the gear. Like that, it should be impossible for someone to do that. Like it should be like really high. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like sort of like, so there's a good separation.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. It reminds me actually, because I know we've been to Fabric to Room 2. I know they've changed the DJ booth now, but do you remember where it used to be? That was quite high up as well. Like you had to go up some stairs to get to it.
That's the whole idea. So people can't do dumb shit like this. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and my particular favorite is obviously the song that she requests is something that he played 5 minutes ago, and then he literally cuts back to the clip where when the audio's on, you can actually, he is actually playing it.
to be honest, dude, he's got some nice gear there for club gear. He's got 2 turntables, time coded, and what's that mixer? It looks sick.
Yeah, I was thinking it might be like a Native Instruments one, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah,
or it might be Denon's.
Yeah, that's a really nice setup. I'm jealous. Yeah, really nice.
The question is, Dave, and it's probably an open topic for other DJs listening, but obviously song requests can be very annoying, particularly me. I'll be honest, a lot of the time when people request things, I never have it. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But one question.
We touched this into this last time, didn't we? Like
we did, but there's one specific question I'd ask you though. Now, obviously, most DJs don't like requests, right? Let's be honest. Some of them are like take it on the chin and whatever, but most ones I know, they hate it and they can't stand it. However, Dave Collins, if people could pay you cash to request a song, would you accept it? Yes or no?
Yeah, but I do it in a very particular way. So I wouldn't have it like this. What I do is I put a little poster on front of the decks that they can't reach over with a QR code on it. And I'd say, if you want to tip me some money, you can put a request in. And then when they go on the site, they'll see all the tracks they can request. They can't just write a message. They've got to choose one of the tracks on the request list.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So give me like, maybe like £2 or $5, and I'll put your request on. But it's got to be from this list, right? And that list will be one that's, done so people don't play fucking Barbie Girl or some shit. You know what I mean? That's how I do it, and I think that's kind of fair. You want your track played, give the DJ a couple of quid. I always used to say, DJs buy the DJ a pint, to play a request. So it's a similar sort of vibe,
It is. It is in a way, and I guess I was thinking about this this notion of it as well. I always think though, like even if people tipped me, I'd probably just give them the money back and be like, no, just don't, just permanently don't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it totally. I only say that because like I've been to nights out where all the people there and all the DJs are into the sound, they're into the scene, and when they're on the track, it's genuinely 9 times out of 10 a decent track, right? And
exactly.
Like, okay, yeah, that's actually really good. But this is what I meant by the type of night out, because if it's just like, can you play a Rihanna or something, and you're at hip hop night. I don't know, like there's definitely nights where you don't want to do requests, but there's other sort of nights where everyone is just tuned in, and everyone is 110% a fan of that sound, and that's when the requests get quite fun. So yeah, who knows? I mean, that's actually a cool idea. Maybe I should try that at some point, like a QR code request thing, because like it goes off that vibe. I used to say, I'll play it, and then you'd half expect the guy to buy you like a half pint or even a full pint sort of thing, right? This is when pints were fucking cheap as shit, not anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just sort of say, cheers, mate. You're a sound DJ, so yeah.
Maybe you could start the tipping as like £3 to £5 maybe per track or something. I don't know.
I don't know. I'd probably say like something like that. But yeah, I think it's worth thinking about, depending on the night though, right? Because you don't want to do that in some student club. You never escape. You know what I mean?
No, you'd be there all night. You'd probably make a bit, like, but But speaking of funds and speaking of money, we're going to quickly go into our sponsored break. Not that there's a lot of money there to speak of anyway. But Dave, you continue drinking your beer. I'm going to quickly take the limelight for a second because, folks, I need to tell you a little bit of something about Changing Faces Mixcloud Select. Yes, that is the premium service that we are offering through Mixcloud Select, and it is how can I best put it? It is. I was going to say it's the dog's bollocks, but I really shouldn't be saying that. But I guess it's something like it's the creme de la creme, so to speak. But hear me out. With so much content available via Changing Faces live and over on our Mixcloud, it's hard to keep up with what's happening. Find us on Blue Sky, YouTube, Mixcloud, and Instagram, and Twitch, and Facebook. And be sure to follow and subscribe for the latest updates and new shows. If you're one of those that want content like that, then be sure to head over to our Mixcloud and get early access to our content via Mixcloud Select. With a Select subscription, you get playback controls enabled on the platform, early access to our shows, and some exclusives thrown in there for good measure. And on top of all that, it supports us here at Changing Faces. So where do you go? That's mixcloud.com/Changing Faces, all as one word, or find out more over on our site, changingfaces.live. I was reading that then, but like that I've spelt it wrong. That's why I paused. Yeah, or find us over on our website, changingfaces.live. Don't forget, if you want something mentioning, be it a product, service, release, or whatever in our sponsored break, be sure to email us at hellochangingfaces@gmail.com. Dave Collins joins me back here. And have you got anything else to say about Mixcloud Select? It is the creme de la creme of Mixcloud, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it sort of vibes very much into what I was saying before the break. So if you want to tip us £4, we'll give you exclusive mixes, we'll give you early access, and we'll love you daily, basically, right? But we'll do what we can to make you happy. Let's just say that. So,
one thing I will plug actually about Mixcloud Select, which I've already had the benefit of, is for those who work from home. One of the things that I will always do is I will always go to Mixcloud to tune into a few mixes whilst I work. But the thing is, a lot of mixes are only ever an hour long, and I'm working all day. Now, the benefit I have with Mixcloud Select, especially with the Changing Faces Mixcloud Select, is that we do something called the Extended Mix Series, or just Extended Mixes.
We've got
great is
5 hours long on there. So
yeah, exactly. We've got some that go on for hours and hours and hours. The most recent one is episode 16 of Extended Mixes, which is what I've done, and that's 2 hours and 45 minutes, and it's great. Because as soon as you start it, you get locked in, you can do your work, listen to the mix. And by the time the mix ends, and that's when you notice, obviously, it's ending, it's like nearly time for lunch or something. You know what I mean? Like, the benefit there is brilliant. Like, I like long mixes.
Yeah, we've costed it to be £1 a week. So that's about as cheap as you can think, right? So
absolutely. Yeah. Call that an extension of the sponsored break. But that's, obviously I'm going to be a bit biased because it's our platform, but I'm just saying, extended mixes when you're doing work from home, I've personally found it to be a really nice benefit for me personally. That's all I'll say.
I mean, I'll double down on the plugin and Mixcloud because if you haven't checked it out yet, I think now is a really good time because I've been uploading stuff on there like it's going out of fashion. I think Mixcloud's higher. The amount of stuff we're throwing on there now is easily 4 times the amount we were, 6 months ago. So definitely check it out. There's all sorts of stuff going up on our Mixcloud now. Worth checking out.
Yeah. And actually, the more things that come out, everyone will be able to see very soon. I'm just going to quickly take a quick look into. Hang on. I'm going to go up to here. And
can we get on the page and show it off? Or
yeah, we can actually, can't we? Why not?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, because what I'm going to quickly do is, wait 1 second. I'm doing it wrong. Sorry, I'm being a bit silly here. I'm just looking for something else for the next topic, but this is the profile of Changing Faces on Mixcloud. And as you can see here, now this is us logged into it, so obviously we have all this access. But check this one out right here, exclusive episode 16 extended mix. So this one is 2 hours and 45 minutes long. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, we've got a tab here full of selected content, lots of premium goodies there, and all of us done extended mixes. And like, just look at the length for some of these things. Like, some of these are 2 hours, some of these are 2.5 hours, and then I'm sure that's 1 hour 52, 1 hour 42, 3 hours 37 there for 13. And then look at that one. The extended mix Ibiza special edition is when we did a huge back-to-back in Ibiza a few years ago. 5 hours, 5 minutes, and 39 seconds long. Bruh.
I know, right? So check it out.
Yeah, check it out. Well said, Dave. Hang on a second. I'm trying to look. Oh, view archive. Here we go. Because I'm one of the ways that I've been looking at. Oh no, that's not it. I need to look for. Is it in here somewhere? I'm not used to looking at it on a desktop. I'm looking for the stuff that I have saved in my archive, but I'm looking for it on the desktop version of Instagram, but it's not that clear because I'm currently looking at. It's usually in the settings, but it's not that. Oh, it's there. Okay, never mind. Because the thing is, the reason why I'm rambling on like this is because the next topic I'm going to be talking about is we're going to go over to New York to talk about Brooklyn Mirage. However, it's important to note that this has been a very, how can I best put it, a developing story, and it does require a little bit of context to it. So let me just quickly share the screen with the original article that I got here, courtesy of Instagram account groove_cartel. But allow me to elaborate. Brooklyn New, quotations, Mirage Club undergoes a fabulous refit. Celebrating their 10th anniversary, the Brooklyn Mirage has undergone an incredible refit of their dance floor and stage with some pretty impressive installations. Groove_cartel via Instagram writes what's included in the works with, quote, a hyper-realistic 270 degrees virtual environment with a combined 30K resolution, in brackets, 100 million pixels, over 3,000 tiles, enclosed in the world's first fully kinetic shutter system of this scale. A 90-foot wide performance area with an industry-leading £400,000 roof rigging capacity, empowering artists to deliver their most visionary performances. New viewing areas reimagined as an opera-style mezzanine lodges. Custom L-Acoustics sound system featuring over 100 precision calibrated speakers and subwoofers for an unparalleled sonic experience no matter where guests are in the space. End quote. Dave Collins, there was a lot of numbers there to really give you a hard on, I guess. But here's some quick photos.
Have we got any videos of what it is?
So here's one video look. So we're getting a quick wraparounds here to see just how big the numbers are talking here. So really impressive. But there's one key thing to this. The video that we're watching right now is a render. It's a render. It's not a finished thing.
Everyone's riffing off the dome, aren't they? This is very similar.
Yeah, it's
it does remind me a bit of the it does remind me a bit of the Albert Hall a little bit.
Oh, this is a very fancier scale though. And there you go. Look, you can see those different tiered levels there in the back.
I love the aesthetics of the club. It looks really cool.
It's looking very premium.
It's like a recording studio. Do you know what I mean? Like it gives
yeah. I hear you on that. Yeah, absolutely. And just whilst you're looking at that, I just need to quickly look at what some of these latest developments were, because man, there's quite a few. There's quite a few things. Aha! This was one of them. So this obviously originally in the podcast we were just literally going to be talking about this new club that's opening, looks great, yada yada, and that was more or less going to be the end of it, right? However, there's a bit more context that needs to be addressed. One of the niggling points from what has been reported is all of this that you see here, which is obviously these beautiful renders of what is to be from this refit of the Brooklyn Mirage Club. However, reports shortly after all of this was announced came out that there is a lot of delays in getting the club finished, to the point where Brooklyn Mirage has started cancelling shows, and some of them were very, very abrupt. So, for example, Sarah Landry was due to play at the Brooklyn Mirage's opening night for this club. However, it was all cancelled last minute. Not exactly a good look, but it was something that they had to do because simply the club wasn't ready. There is another clip there's another post which I will read from you now. This was this was a month ago now, which is actually kind of wild to think, but I digress. Hang on. So Brooklyn Mirage cancelled the whole opening weekend, and it was all due to unfinished construction. The Brooklyn Mirage released a statement saying, quote, "It is with a heavy heart that we share this update. All Brooklyn Mirage shows are cancelled through this opening weekend. We know this is disappointing news. While we are working 24/7 on the solution, we want to first and foremost send a sincere apology to the fans, artists, crew members, and hundreds of employees who will bring Mirage to life each night. Their livelihoods and passion are at the heart of everything we do, and we are doing everything in our power to get back on track safely and in full compliance as soon as possible. We're actively collaborating with a wide range of city officials to meet all requirements, and we look forward to opening as soon as possible." And then they just go on about the ticket holders and so on and so forth. So, yeah, so obviously there's quite, there was a bit there. There was a bit more actually slightly after that, where again, May 8th, they did a post We Rave You did a post on Instagram saying that Brooklyn Mirage cancels more shows and confirms it won't open earlier in May. So they posted up another update saying, quote, "Loud Luxury on May 9th is being postponed to August 2nd. Your ticket's going to be rolled over." Then it says, "Clooney's day and night shows on May 10th will now take place at the Brooklyn Storehouse." They had to move everyone over there. And then they continued by saying, quote, "We sincerely apologize and appreciate your continued patience as we work towards opening the Brooklyn Mirage. We will continue to keep you updated on the progress of what we know will be an incredible experience for our community." So there's more. There's even more as well, actually. There's a little bit more to do with Sarah Landry's story, which I think we'll probably get into for another time. But that was basically the extended news edition, just for that post in particular, just because I knew there was extra context to that as well. Dave Collins, on the overall, obviously, you've just seen concepts of how it looks. Obviously, there's delays as well going on at the moment. And you and I both know how much a night can, generate for the club, for all parties involved. And they are cancelling quite a lot of shows now. If you were a part of the Brooklyn Mirage team, would you be worried, or do you think, no, we need to make sure everything's right? What's your thoughts on that?
I think it depends, because how far does that go? Like, did they delay it a month, 2 months, 3 months? But I think generally,
to my knowledge, that they were supposed to open beginning of May or late April, but they're still not open yet.
that's kind of a delay at this point. I'd be saying, right, a month is doable, but after that, nah.
It's not looking too good. But as you saw from those renders, that don't look cheap.
No, it doesn't. And like, can you imagine like traveling to go there and then being told it's cancelled? You know, that would suck ass, really, wouldn't it?
It would.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
I
think
mean, all the best to them. I understand starting these clubs are really hard to do, but I wouldn't feel ashamed about doing a soft launch either. You know, just because the thing is about a soft launch is that people's experiences change over time, and the club gets a bit of a like a mythos about it almost, where you go, oh yeah, when I went, this was here, and when I went, these other things were here. Do you remember when we went to the East Village Arts Club, or EVAC, we used to call it in Liverpool?
yeah.
Every time we went there, in the beginning, they kept opening different rooms, and presumably they were building them still. But it was like every time I went there, it was different. Like it was a different club, and
Yeah.
people heard like loads of crazy tales about there's loads of different rooms, but no one can pin down which room was which, and it sort of develops this kind of interesting narrative about it. So a soft launch works if you do it right, definitely.
It does, yeah. I would definitely say, based on the renders that you've seen, it looks very premium. It looks very almost like
Definitely,
the whole place is VIP. So
yeah.
perhaps it is that case where they want to make sure everything is tip top to give them that experience. But obviously, the only thing I would probably think about is how much is a ticket going to be? Because
Wow, I don't
you know
know.
what I
How much are
mean.
they charging? I don't know. Like, are they charging universe level prices or?
I don't know if it's universe, but like we are talking. I mean, we are talking about Brooklyn, New York, and there's not a lot of clubs knocking about in New York anymore. You know, so
That's kind of wild, really, when you think about it. You think there'll be teaming with clubs, wouldn't you?
I mean, you know, I'll be honest, especially for those who are tuned in from New York. If you are tuned in, hello to you. But this is just based on what we hear and see from the UK. So there may be more that we know that you lot may know about, but in terms of what we see from overseas, the only ones I literally know about is Brooklyn Mirage and elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think there was something else called House of Yes. I think, or is that
Yeah.
in Manchester? I can't remember. I think no. I think there is. I think there was a House of Yes in New York as well, but I don't even know. I don't even know if that's even open. But yeah, I digress. But the next thing we're going to talk about quickly is because we are sort of short of time, I guess, a wee bit. But one of the things we're going to move on to now, we're going to go to Vilnius in Lithuania. Vilnius, Dave. Vilnius.
What's
Vilnius.
okay?
Yeah.
What's happening now?
Yeah, so it's more good news basically. So as you can see there, the title of the article: Cultural Support Initiative launched in Vilnius with a €165,000 fund for grassroots venues. So what's going on here? So Party in Vilnius, you bet. So this is a credit via Gemma Ross of Mixmag, who wrote this. A cultural support initiative known as, I'm probably going to butcher this, Dynyklos has been launched over in Lithuania in a bid to increase the live music scene in the capital through grassroots funding from €9,000 to €10,000 for each of the 17 venues selected. Gemma Ross from Mixmag tells us more with, quote, named Dynyklos, the new program aims to support independent spaces in Vilnius and strengthen the city's live culture scene from the ground up. The initiative supports 17 diverse cultural spaces in Vilnius, including jazz and rock venues, queer club spaces, experimental performance clubs, and poetry salons, per a press release. Each of the 17 venues, which are said to vary in size, location, and genre, will receive funding from €9,000 to €10,000 each of a total of €165,000 fund. The Dynyklos Fund distributed to venues can be used for artist fees, long-term equipment, purchases, licensing, and rights for creative works, promotion and communication, administrative costs, and technical implementation of activities. Call for applicants was opened in January and closed in February, and will open each year. Those who can apply must meet certain criteria, such as hosting more than 50 events a year, having a proper stage or platform with sound and lighting systems and security measures, end quote. So obviously, one thing I will say, it's not €165,000 per venue, imagine that, but we're talking about €9,000 to €10,000 each. and obviously they have selected 17 venues. Dave Collins, do you think more of this should be done in other cities?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. Why not?
I think absolute no-brainer, isn't it? Because I think the thing that annoys me is that I think quite a lot of people in local governments and so on, I honestly feel sometimes that they don't think of nightclubs being cultural spaces, which is why so many of them close down, because like it almost seems like nobody cares about them in terms of local government. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I mean, in the UK, in London especially, like the government's got, or I don't know if it's the government or the councils or what, but there's almost, they've been trying to shut down clubs for 30 years now, nearly. It's kind of nuts, right? But it's nice to see some encouragement, in sort of in this scene. The idea that nightlife can be something you can invest in and can be something that is rewarding, not just a sort of a weird afterthought. So yeah, I think it's good.
It's also the same thing as like I guess it's just like it's part of nighttime economy, but like I don't know, maybe it's like do people not think that people go out? I don't know. Like that's always the thought I've always thought. But I
I
think
think there was a trend, right? I'm sort of approaching 40 these days, right? I'm thinking old as shit, but like when my folks were my age, they stopped going out when they were like 25. Do you know what I mean?
that's wild.
And
25.
and it's like I think our generation has changed in the fact that we just don't stop going out. Maybe the nights out we go to change, but we don't stop going out generally. Do you know what I mean? And that's just a thing. So I think it's a generational thing. I think the more I see it now, the more gigs I go to, the more people I see that are my sort of age, and yeah, that's kind of wild when you think about it, right? So yeah, it's kind of interesting, isn't it?
It is a sense of like obviously people are getting on a bit, and I get that, but like I've always hated the idea or the notion where people say, "Oh, you're too old to go out clubbing now. Like you need to pack it in." Like I can get where some people are saying with that by saying just literally by your age, you're getting older now. You know, you can't like be partying until 6 in the morning. But like you know, yeah, most people when they get that older, yeah, they've got kids, they're married or whatever, and they've got the commitments and so on. Yeah, that's true. But however, like in terms of just going out, partying and having fun, you can do that at any age. And actually, one of
Yeah.
the things I always noticed for example, in Ibiza when we went to Cova Santa, when we went to the all day I Dream party, I remember seeing a whole load of people that were in their 50s and 60s, and they were all like hippies, like having a great time and everything. And
Yeah, so I was saying, like, I think the type of night out you go to changes, but you don't stop going out as a rule. Do you know what I mean? You just go to different types of night out. You know what I mean? So instead of going to Revolutions all night, you'll go somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? Because I think we've all been through that phase where we've been to Revs all night. Do you know what I mean?
well,
You
this
wouldn't
is
be
it.
dead now, but I've been there. I won't defend I haven't. So yeah.
And actually, the reason why I was also going to mention that quickly, so to speak, is also because one of the other things I was just going to actually, Dave, you've reminded me actually, but I think in the past 2 episodes of the Change Faces podcast, we are obsessed with the incoming Ibiza Super Club, the Rebirth, and that is Universe, that huge, gargantuan nightclub, which is nearly the size of an airport, I would actually even argue. But one of the things we're going to just very, very, very briefly update people on is, as of the time of this recording,
Well, I can tell you right now.
which is 30th of May, a Friday, because we're back on the Fridays again. Dave Collins, tell us. What's
So
happening?
the doors have just opened. They opened 8 minutes ago, as of this recording. Yeah. So the doors opened at 11 o'clock European time, and they're an hour ahead of us. So the doors opened 8 minutes ago. The lineup is Adam 10, Mita Gami, Ahmed Spins, Carista, Carl Cox, Jamie Jones, Joseph Caparati, the Martinez brothers, Michael Beebe, and they've completely sold out. And I remember
What?
seeing tickets for this about a week ago, and they were 150 euros each, and they've sold out.
Are you serious? They're sold out?
That's kind of nuts, isn't it?
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah.
And what's even funnier is they put a little thing on Ibiza Spotlight. You're on the same page as me. And it
Yeah,
says,
I'm just looking at
available
it
on
now.
sunrise passes that grant entry from 6 in the morning on the Saturday.
What?
So you can get in at 6 a.m. with a sunrise pass.
Oh my
They've sold out
God.
all the others. That's kind of wild, though, because they say sunrise pass. That implies to me that it's like an open club, or you'll see the sunrise come over the club, like we were saying.
That's wild, isn't it? And actually, so what we'll quickly say, just for audio listeners, is a little bit about this opening night. So it says, "quote If summer 2025 ends up being remembered for one thing, it will be this: the long anticipated opening of Universe, Ibiza's first hyper club." Not UNVRS, like I overheard someone in the airport. And anyway, now the wait is almost over. The countdown has begun to the official opening party as of this recording. It's right now, ushering in a new era of global club culture, as well as the next chapter in Ibiza's vibrant nightlife scene. This epic experience is the world's first glimpse into the sonic and visual world of Universe, a statement of intent showcasing the club's mission to reshape nightlife through scale, spectacle, and storytelling. Appearing at the opening party at Universe, residents Carl Cox and Jimmy Jones, plus from A to Z, Adam, as Dave said, Adam Ten, Carista, Joseph Capriati, Michael Beebe, the Martinez brothers, Mita Game, Salome, Lechat, and more. And yeah,
I'm just reading here, right? So it says, however, sunrise passes are on sale, giving you access to Universe from 6 a.m. in the morning on the Saturday for the final 6 hours of the party. So the opening night ends midday tomorrow.
that's absolutely insane, isn't it? Like, that's so wild. That's so Ibiza, though, isn't it? Like, how
No,
Ibiza is that?
that's amazing.
And
I'm
now,
really looking forward to footage, man. Anyone go in, record anything you can, whack it on YouTube.
yeah,
Let
because
us
you know
know.
what? No one's really seen the inside.
No one.
And no one actually knows if the layout's the same either. That's the key thing. Now, the other thing I wanted to quickly ask you, actually, Dave, is just to do some quick maths here. So, Privilege before it was Universe, I'm assuming the capacity is the same, but the capacity for Universe, aka Privilege, or was Privilege, was 10,000. Was it 10,000 people or 2,000 people? No, 2,000 people.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take your word for it.
Oh,
It was a
I can't
lot.
remember.
It was a lot.
No,
Like,
it was the biggest in the world. I think it might be 10,000 actually. Is
it's
it
probably
10,000?
10,000 now, because I know 2,000 is numbers that you get for like Fabric and stuff, and like Club Air and stuff like that.
Right, so it must be 10 because it's huge. So anyway, okay, so it must be 10. So anyway, capacity 10,000 people, right? However, think about it. They have completely sold out of tickets, and each ticket for just one night was 150 euros. We need to do the math on this.
Yeah.
So 150 euros times 10,000.
I mean, that's a
Right,
lot.
I'm getting the calculator out. Oh God! Did you look at the same thing as me?
Yeah. So I just co-piloted it to give you even more numbers. So Privilege Ibiza has a capacity of 15,000 people.
Oh, it was 15,000.
Yeah.
Oh God! So that's even higher then.
And
So,
that's Privilege. That's not even the redesign.
right. So if we do 150 times 15,000, that's how much they could have made. They've potentially made just tonight.
Excluding drinks. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other key thing as well. They make loads on drinks. This is just to get in. We're talking about 2.25 mil on ticket sales.
Insane. That is off the charts.
That is absolutely mental for the opening night. I reckon that's like just those tickets sold alone. I reckon that's probably paid for like a giant portion of their works that they've done for this club.
That's nuts.
They've probably, I imagine what they've paid to redo that place has been a lot. Don't get me wrong,
And
But I
then
imagine they've probably got quite a lot of it back already.
and then you got to presume it's 15 euros a beer, right? At least.
Yeah,
Wow, that's crazy. That is
that really is. And I'm glad that you brought it to my attention to especially mention now. And also, like, sunrise passes from 6 in the morning, and
that's
how much are they
crazy.
going to be?
I don't know, but it's nuts that you think at 6 in the morning you get the last 3 hours. Now it's another 6 hours, mate. That's great. So the entire club night is like 13 hours.
Kind of makes you think though as well. Like, I know there will be some, especially some of the older folk, and I actually love this idea. They probably won't even go tonight. They'll just
Let's
go.
go in the morning.
Yeah, they'll have an early
Yeah.
night tonight, and then wake up early tomorrow morning and go there at 6.
That's kind of dope. I hope that is a trend that stays with it, because imagine that
Oh
for you.
yeah,
Let's go to Universe.
and you basically go there for breakfast, I guess.
Nah, it's wild.
But that is, I mean, that is absolutely fascinating, and we always sort of knew that, you know, Universe has been plastered everywhere in Ibiza. I was there 3 weeks ago, just for 2 days, and the advertising was absolutely everywhere, and it really is just taken off like no man's business, and that's that's obviously why we needed to speak about it. The only thing I would say though is that I have heard from one or two people who live there locally and who are sort of doing industry stuff over there, is that there's a bit of an anxious fear that Universe is sort of like hoovering up the majority of business
Oh, absolutely. It
people,
will absolutely do it.
and
Yeah. And the
I
thing
can,
is, I think
yeah,
it was a few places to shut down, unfortunately. But
yeah, and
this is the bar, right? You've got to compete, else get out, basically.
because obviously they've made privilege into Universe now, where it's this huge behemoth monster in the middle of the island, and like, yeah, like it's just they've put so much into this now, and you can kind of see it, like even from that open, it's like they've already paid off a good chunk of their investment, which is crazy if you think about it. But like now, like where does Ibiza go from here? Because obviously, you know, if everyone's going to Universe all the time, they're not going anywhere else, are they? Do you know what I mean? And people
Well,
that go to that island that only get that, they'll go elsewhere, yeah, but a huge chunk of their money is going to go straight into the Universe.
well, I'm looking at the Ibiza Spotlight right now, right? Amnesia aren't competing with it in the slightest tonight.
They are or they aren't.
They're not. The only event they've got in the next 7 days is Do Not Sleep on Tuesday. Pasha is amazingly trying to compete with it. Good luck. Ushuaia, and this is the hack, right? Because I think you said to me that the guy that owns Universe owns Ushuaia, doesn't he?
Yeah, and higher Ibiza.
So Ushuaia's got Calvin Harris playing tonight with his opening party. That is from 1700 to 2300. So everyone's going to go to Ushuaia from 5 till 11, and then go straight to Universe from 11 till midday tomorrow.
It's just insane, isn't it? And if you think that,
Yeah.
that's the concern though, that quite a few locals I've spoken to. That's the sort of anxious thought that they have, because yes, the tourists are going to the island. That's great, but the problem that some people are now saying is that the Ushuaia Corporation, if it can be called that, or the Ushuaia Group, because because they've got quite a larger monopoly now on the island, they are literally hoovering up the majority of the tourist money.
Yeah. This is what happens though, right? And
yeah,
you got someone's just gonna have to compete with them. That's just the
yeah.
way it goes, right? And who's going to do that? I don't know. Amnesia? I don't
Because
know.
this,
Ish?
because
Not really, though. Like,
yeah, because there's still great clubs out there. Do you know what I mean? Like, there are still great places to go and party, but the problem is that when people go there, they are there to go to the big parties, and obviously the main one they're going to see now is Universe, and people are saving up money, and times are hard anyway. So if they can get out there and just have a holiday there, they're going to want to go to the latest and greatest because that's what you do, right? And even like, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I'm not going to go there. Like, I also want to go there, but I also see the issue. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Definitely.
so
We'll see what happens, man.
yeah, we will. And yeah, we're gonna move away from Ibiza now because we obviously talk about Ibiza quite a lot. However, we're gonna go over to Amsterdam. Not necessarily to talk about the city itself, but this is to just quickly talk about something something quite it's bad and good, mixed news. But this is coming from Digital Festival in Amsterdam. So what we're going to be talking about here is a post that Digital Festival did a few weeks ago. But let me just quickly go back to my notes. Digital Festival Amsterdam releasing statement on antisocial behavior, or ASB. So as mentioned from Digital Festival Instagram account, it says, quote, well, it doesn't say quote, but this is what I've written. Amsterdam-based festival Digital, or DGTL for short, has released a statement a while ago addressing some ever-present antisocial behavior being witnessed on the dance floor. The festival organizers explained on their Instagram account with, quote, as we have quite the platform on here, we feel it's important to speak up about the concerning trend of online shaming. People are being ridiculed just for dancing freely, for letting go, for being themselves. The dance floor should always be a place of freedom, not judgment. To those who misuse social media to bring others down, that energy does not belong here. Let's keep our dance floors joyful, respectful, and free. End quote. And this is a little quick another little quick this is basically from what it is here. So it says here, a new online trend is gaining traction, and not in a good way. People are being ridiculed just for dancing freely, for letting go, for being themselves. Let's be clear, this has no place at Digital. And it goes on to say same thing I've just mentioned. But they sort of expand on it, saying they're meant to be safe or safer spaces where everyone can move however they want without fear of being filmed, judged, or mocked. Shaming others, especially by sharing content without their consent, goes against everything we stand for. We take this seriously, and we will always protect the heart of our community, our people. To everyone who joins us, dance like there's no one watching, because at Digital, you're safe to be unapologetically you. Let's keep our dance floors joyful, respectful, and free. Dave Collins, do you think this is a very shitty thing that is gaining traction? And are we fully behind this statement?
Yeah, I don't know how we got here. This is crazy. Maybe we need to do what ban these things. You know what I mean? Just say nah. Put a sticker over the lenses and take it out. You get kicked out. You know.
Yeah, I remember a while ago on Twitter or X, sorry, a while ago, I remember seeing a clip of that where a bunch of girls were laughing at some middle-aged dude because he was dancing on the dance floor, and they were filming him and zooming in. And I'm like, ha ha ha, and like the clip that
that's so cool. Like he's so comfortable. He can do that. I always thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, but you know what? Though, in this poster, like they were saying, like they were laughing, and they were laughing at him because he was dancing in a weird way. But then, towards the end of the video, he sees them recording him, and he stops and sort of puts his head down. And I think that is such a shitty thing to do. Like, how dare you, like, invade his privacy and and mock him for just letting go a little bit, you know what I mean? And that's kind of what that's the whole point of a dance floor, right?
Yeah.
And again, we always keep saying it's a shame Dan's not here, but like he's very vocal about this as well. That and it's very true. It's a dance floor. It is a dance floor. You are there to dance on the floor. You dance there. You let go. You be free. Like that sounds like such a hippie. But Dave Collins, you'd also agree with that as well, right?
Yeah, I think so. And even when we've done our live stream events, we've always had a focus of recording the DJ behind the decks. That's the focus, really. The dance floor is the dance floor. And I do think to some degree that if you want to know what it's like, go turn up, right? Don't just watch videos online. and be respectful of everyone around you. You know, if it's an old dude partying, sort of encourage him. It's great to see it, and you know, have a bit of a laugh with them, but don't record them and shame them. That's just horrible. You know, what sort of person are you if you do that? That's despicable. You know.
It is, and it's not it's definitely not a good look on those who do post these things. But I mean, even here is Seri Music or Cherry Music, it might be, says, quote, "No phones on dance floors is the answer." I mean, yeah. I mean, I do think, obviously, you know, there's times where, yeah, you know, you might need to be on your phone for a wee bit, but of course, I also agree in the sentiment of, if you're on the dance floor, you're on the dance floor. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can stop for a wee second to, you know, just message someone or whatever, or take a quick photo or video or whatever. You know, that's fine. But if you're recording others, yeah, it's not great. Yeah, no, it's
This is actually sort of the concept behind a lot of like clubs, nightclubs we've been to in the past, where the dance floor itself is almost pitch black, sort of thing.
yeah.
And it's the idea that you can't record each other because you can't fucking see anything anyway. And if someone turns on the flash, then people will see it from miles away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, it's that as well. I am happy that Digital Festival has spoken up a wee bit about this as well, because obviously some people, you know, obviously some events, like, yes, they'll care about it, but they won't mention anything about it. But you know, it is it's definitely good to see.
All, all I'll say on this is I saw this recently online, and it was saying, you know, I think I touched on it earlier, but when is too old to go to the club, right? At what age are you past it and you shouldn't go out anymore? And we talked about this earlier, but there's a sort of sentiment. It's like, oh yeah, when you get to like 25 or 30, you're past it and all this. And anyone older than that is deemed a bit of a weirdo because they go out partying. And I'll just say, if you see on the dance floor some guy who's like 60 or 50, just know that he was here when dance music began. It's people like him
Mhm.
that made the scene what it is. And if anything, I take a respect your elders attitude to that. And it's like, you know, well fucking done, dude. This entire dance music scene that we all love, it's your generation that started all this. You know what I mean? We're just
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now, basically. And so I totally respect it, and I think it's really wholesome to see. I would never like ridicule them or skit them or laugh at them. That's just horrible, you know.
I've always loved, like, the, you know, I've always loved, like, a mixed age crowd, to be honest with you. So it's always nice. I'll quickly move into we're a bit short of time, but I'm just going to try
Yeah,
and
yeah.
roll through this quite quickly. But we're talking about parties. We're going to quickly just have a quick review about another major US festival that occurred fairly recently. But we're catching up a wee bit because our podcast is only a month, is per month. But what we're going to talk about now is about what went down at Coachella, because obviously Ultra Music Festival had a few controversies and chaos with the weather. Coachella ain't no different. It also had its chaos and a few things that went down. Thankfully, the weather was not one of them. However, I'll start here by saying, earlier in April, the 2025 edition of Coachella graced LA for a few days, but just like Ultra Music Festival, it wasn't without its controversies and key talking points from the all-star lineups, productions, and even the food. Reports from We Rave You showed fireworks malfunctioning and striking the ground. No injuries were reported, thankfully. And well, aren't you lucky, Dave? Because I've got a clip of it as well. Let me just quickly get this for you now. There's no audio of it though, so this is one of them completely
Oh my god,
misfiring.
it's crazy.
Like that's
His
like,
face is like, what the hell?
yeah. I mean, that's one hell of a malfunction, right? I mean, my goodness. It looks like it actually hits like the top of a food trailer, actually, if anything. But
Imagine
yeah,
getting the burger there. Holy crap!
yeah. So that was that was one of the things observed. It also, I continue here. Additionally, there were also issues with some of the artists, and this is probably the main talking point that a lot of people are aware of. Dead Mouse, aka Test Pilot, was doing a back-to-back set with Jew, I think it is, before his performance was cut short after appearing heavily intoxicated on stage. Dave Collins, you may have seen this already, but I'm going to continue it anyway. But I'm just going to wait to see just to see when the video restarts again, because obviously with reels they just keep going basically.
Sure, yeah. I've
Yeah,
already got something in my head because I've seen Paul Van Dyke off his head.
oh yeah, I mean this is
that, yeah.
yeah, this is up there. This, I think this is towards the end of the this is towards the end of the video, but yeah, they did eventually actually cut off the music entirely because he got Joel Zimmerman in particular got very, very drunk. I believe Jew was also pretty drunk as well. So this is the end of the video now, so it's just going to go right to the beginning now, because obviously this is where around about the time where they cut him off. It was after 40 minutes, I believe it was. So they didn't even complete the full back-to-back set. But they obviously clearly saw how just how off the rails Joel was being. And it does look like they were getting. So this is the start of it. Look, so there you go. Look, so that's Joel Zimmerman downing a Corona. Then they're doing a cheers. And then later on, we can see here Ted Mouse falling over. And then here we're seeing him leaning on the mixer and then falling asleep.
What the fuck?
There you go. And then he's up again. There he is, look. And that's his second fall. He falls over again. And that's roughly where they decide to cut the music and they send him away. He manages to get on the microphone, but then they cut his mic as well. So
have you heard he's coming to London soon? I saw a gig for that the other day online.
Yeah, he is, and I'm hoping that he's not going to be like that. But of course, that is just one of the controversies that went over during the Coachella Festival. There's more though, Dave. So as I've written here, furthermore, Toronto DJ and producer Bambi had criticized the festival due to her performance being marred with technical issues with the gear and sound equipment. From the article written by Carlos Hawthorne, I believe it is. Let me just quickly share it here as well. Bambi mentioned, quote, "Yesterday, when I pulled up, the artist before warned me that the sound had been chipping out to dead silence for sometimes minutes at a time," she wrote. "The equipment I played on was completely malfunctioning. It's safe to assume, had we been bigger artists on the main stage, this issue would have been fixed way earlier within the show day," end quote. Her Instagram story continued with Bambi mentioning, quote, "Unfortunately, the music industry, especially in the US, is quite hierarchical, with basic care only being given when you're super established," end quote from Bambi's story. So this is just another extra bit here to do with Bambi's side of the story for her getting booked for Coachella. So as you can see here, the title saying here, or there's the subtitle here. Toronto artist also said the US festival hadn't paid her a fee or covered her travel costs.
What festival?
Hang on, you wait right there, Dave. In a since expired post on Instagram stories, the Toronto artist said she felt severely misrepresented and embarrassed in front of thousands on Friday, April 11th. Other artists on the bill included Jotty, Leila Benitez, and DJ Pee-wee, aka Anderson .Paak. Where else does it say here? After this, she also had a quote on the story saying, quote, like so many other artists on that bill, it took a lot of hard work to even get to the position to be booked. Music is my entire life, and I believe at a bare minimum, the least a festival as reputable as Coachella could provide artists that aren't paying is a working sound system. This isn't the article continues, quote, this isn't the first time Coachella has been accused of a faulty sound system and production. Issues plagued Lana Del Rey's headline set last year, while in 2019 the problem was so severe that Pitchfork published an article in response. So yeah, there was a bit there as well that went on, and Dave Collins, I'll just quickly get your feedback from that because you wanted to say something.
Yeah, how is Coachella not paying its DJs? That's bullshit. That is actually bullshit. Like, truly. Something as big as that, and they can't even pay for their travel costs? What the fuck?
It's a bit wild, isn't it? But
yeah.
Obviously, just to be neutral here, these are the things that Bambi has mentioned. Coachella has not confirmed these things, or at least as far as to our knowledge. But that's one thing I will quickly mention. One of the other clips I was going to show you actually was a reel that was highlighting some of the food costs at Coachella, which was another talking point. However,
the worst food festival. So let's see how this compares.
The post has since been deleted, but what I've mentioned here, what I've written here as a final piece was, finally, the food prices were a talking point. Like many other multi-day festivals, it's often the scenario that you cannot leave festival grounds once you have entered. And even if you can leave, you cannot bring in any food. So if you want anything, you must spend it there. We Rave You compiled a compilation of posts that takes you on a little tour on how much some of the food was, which was ... interesting. Unfortunately, the post has since been deleted. But just based off my memory, it was a clip of a girl that had bought 2 little plastic trays of tacos with a bit of guacamole and some cheese on top, maybe a few beans. And then she had 2 drinks, and it was €100 for all of that. No, sorry, $100. Sorry, $100.
$100.
And she said that the tacos weren't even hot; they were like kind of cold. So that kind of gives you an insight as to how expensive it was. All I would say is anyone that did go to Coachella Festival who is tuned in or watching the video, let us know in the comments of if you had any such experiences. But as you saw there, Dave, quite a lot of things going on at Coachella Festival. What's your instant reactions to Coachella Festival as a whole? Would you go to that if you were in LA?
It sounds a bit of a shit show this year, doesn't it? Getting hit by fireworks, DJs pissed off their sound systems that don't work, and tacos that cost $100. I mean,
well, let's be honest. We're highlighting some of the talking points of the festival. It did look like it was a good festival, but obviously not. It wasn't perfect. I think we can just we can say that, can't we? And actually, this fits in nicely because we're talking about Coachella Festival in LA. But what we want to quickly talk about now is our final talking point is obviously where me, Dave, our colleague and friend Alex, and Warren Bass, aka just our Warren, basically, where we went and what we were up to, just for the final half an hour of episode 4. Because as mentioned at the beginning of the podcast, I'm looking a bit more tan. Dave's looking a bit more tanned as well. But we all went off to Malta for 2 weeks. Me, Dave, and Alex, we all went to Malta for the full 2 weeks, and we went to party at Rong Open Air Festival 2025 edition. And we also went to oh god, there they are, look. And then we also went to Sunnyside Festival, again, their second festival. It was the 2025 edition. I still have the sticker. Where's my camera? I still have the sticker for that.
Oh, you're going to use it, man.
I've not used it yet. No, I don't know when I'm going to I'll stick it somewhere. But essentially, yeah, me, Dave, and Alex went to both festivals. Now, Dave, obviously, it's been a bit of time since we've come back from Malta, and we've got our post thoughts to these festivals. I want to come to you first, obviously, to Rong Open Air Festival, which is the first festival that we went to. For those who may not know what it is, Rong Open Air Festival was a trance music festival that went on for 4 days on the Maltese island, or the main island, which featured daytime parties, which included a few pool parties that went off at Bora Bora, one in Cafe Del Mar, and then there was a castle party as well in a remote location. And then obviously they had the nighttime parties at the Uno Village venue. And Dave, how would you describe Uno Village? It's like
it's weird. It's like 3 nightclubs merged together, basically.
Because I was going to say it's a super club, but I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah, they've got this weird setup where they can literally deploy walls up or pull walls down into different areas of the club. So much so that the Rong Festival felt distinctly different from the Sunnyside Festival because they used 2 different sides of the club for each week.
Yeah.
And it does feel genuinely different, doesn't it? It feels like a different venue. Yeah.
Yeah, it very much does. And actually, yeah, that's precisely it, really. Uno Village is quite literally a village of clubs all clustered together, which makes it as one large complex. That's the best way I can put it. It's not really one club and it's all there, because like Dave has mentioned, when you go there, not everything's open. Like, they only set it depending on what the party is, I guess. But yeah, just to go back to Rong Open Air Festival, Trance Festival. Dave, what's your post-review thoughts on Rong Open Air?
It's really good, actually. I had a bit of nervous thoughts going in because the tickets are a little bit heavier than last year. The lineup.
Yeah.
On the first look, you think, oh, okay, it's not as good as last year, but there's still some really good stuff there. But they made up for it in many, many ways. I'm convinced that they've got Uno have invested in a better sound system this year, because as I said on the dance floor to you, this could blast a hole in the sun. It's that fucking on point. It is literally a superb sound system. So I can't for that in the slightest. The lighting was amazing. Rong brought their own lasers, and the lasers were fantastic. And that's a must with trance music. I'm so glad they did that.
Yeah.
And it was great. And, you know, we witnessed some amazing sets in the second room, which was Roots. And the main room was really good as well. Ferry Corsten really impressed me with some of his sets. I've not seen him in a while, and I was sort of actually really vibed with it, which is kind of rare. I've seen Ferry Corsten quite a few times, and it's definitely the best I've ever seen him was this time. So, yeah, well done. But the best thing about it, in my opinion, was they expanded the set list or the parties by an extra day. And they put on more day events as well, which is, I think, is perfect for a place like Malta. The whole point you go, really, to enjoy the sun. So Bora Bora was really good. I think a lot of people missed out on that, but we really enjoyed it, didn't we? Like chilling out in the pool.
We did.
They had a nice little decks there. Cafe Del Mar was amazing. I remember us chilling out in the pool, raving to Chicane, which I don't think you can get much more like Balearic trance than that. It's just
euphoric.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And then the castle party was amazing as well. And I heard the boat party was really good too. And I'll talk about the boat party for Sunnyside in a bit, because I'll surely get onto that. But that was my favorite part of week 2.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And actually, just to refer back to Rong Open Air just for the first week or the first weekend, yeah, I would definitely say the highlight for me was the pool party at Cafe Del Mar, especially because it's on the coast of Bajiba, or St. Paul's Bay. However, what's really spectacular about it, especially with the venue as well, is that the pool is really big and it's really nice. But because the weather was really on point, one of the things that often happens in Malta, from what I've definitely noticed, is that whilst it can be very hot and very sunny, it can also be very, very windy. I don't know what that's down to, but it's very evident. And when you're by the sea, yes, it can be hot, but it can be very, very windy, to the point where obviously that brings down the temperature a little bit. And of course, if you're at a place like Cafe Del Mar where there's big swimming pools and everything, the water's going to be cold and there's a bit of a freeze factor. However, be that as it may, when we were at the pool party at Cafe Del Mar, which I believe was on the Saturday, I think it was, the weather was nearly perfect, basically, because it was nice and hot, it was blue skies, it was sun, and whilst it still was a bit windy, it wasn't that much, and being in the pool was great. And it was for me personally a great highlight because it was so nice and just great. Like, and like Dave said, Chicane playing there, so nostalgic,
Amazing.
It really was, wasn't it? And I mean, not even just Chicane, but like even like some of the people who were playing, like even like before and after as well, they were good as well. I can't even remember who they were.
Ali and Fila played there.
Ali and Fila, sorry, yeah. The castle party as well, also very good. Again, going to a very historical place, not knowing any of the historical context, and then just having a party there, as you do. Yeah. I actually will say as well, one of the things that I really enjoyed there as an underrated thing was the food. I remember having an absolutely exquisite.
Oh yeah, the food was really good. Yeah,
baguette.
Hats off to there was a fella doing the food for the entire thing, wasn't he, with his company, and it was really good. Like, it was the best club food I've had in forever, I think. So yeah,
certainly beats the hot dog on the second floor of Rosie's, doesn't it, Dave?
Oh yeah, well, is that food? I don't know if it qualifies, but yeah, it's really good. Really fantastic festival. If you're into your trance music, or you were, definitely check it out. I remember us raving to Tall Paul at the end, and that was great, wasn't it? It was just
it was.
And it was really fun. So I definitely recommend it for sure.
I will also agree with you in what you said earlier as well, is that obviously the ticket prices were a bit more than last year, and that also made me think, but at the same time, in terms of what you got for that price, like you said, we basically got an extra day, so I think that kind of justifies it a bit.
My only really big criticisms were the drinks prices at Uno were taking the piss a little bit on certain types of drinks, but I mean, we're not talking about pizza prices here. Far from it. It's just, you can tell they've chucked on a few extra euros since last year. So that's the only thing.
Yeah.
I think last year it was like €6 for a drink, and now it's 8 or 9. So they've definitely like upped it a little bit.
Yeah, and I also I also noticed, so to speak, that it certainly seemed like it this year, but it certainly seemed like at Rong Open Air for this year, there was a lot more people than last year.
Yeah, definitely.
So I know, like, did you notice like how just busy literally every room was every night? Like, it was packed. So that was
even at some point fill the entire venue up. That'll be amazing. Like all the rooms open,
Yeah, that would be something. Oh, I mean, hats off to the Rong Open Air crew, or the Rong crew as well, because I remember Rong being well, it still is like a trance event organization based in the Northwest, and they were just doing a few trance nights.
They used to do, if I remember correctly, they used to do gigs in a place called Venus, which was like this.
Yeah. That's right.
Club sort of thing. I remember going there a few times, and they've gone from that to this, and it's like, wow, well done, guys. That's kind of like a big, impressive jump. So
it's huge growth, isn't it?
Got there in about 10 years, because I remember them being big back in like 2014-ish. So yeah.
Oh yeah, and also the other daytime party that you mentioned at Bora Bora, that was also very good. And going back to my original comment about the weather in Malta, is that when I mentioned about it being very windy, that day when we went to Bora Bora, it was exactly how I described it, being very windy, and it was hot, but it didn't feel that hot because it was very windy. However, the benefit that we got when we went to Bora Bora is that the party and the pool and the stage and everything was in the courtyard. And in that courtyard, it was completely surrounded by the entire hotel. So, of course, no wind. And so it was like an oven in there, and it was great. For someone who likes tanning like I do, it was great. I was cooking in there. It was brilliant. But
that
was great. It was great because you could use the pool. It didn't feel very cold because it was very hot, and it was just great. And not for some reason, not a lot of people went, but there was a bit of confusion about whether the party was going ahead. Do you remember much about that, Dave?
Yeah, so I think this is just a bit of confusion about Bora Bora as to what it was in general. But so on the Thursday, Bora Bora did a party for the hotel guests only, right?
Yeah.
And then in the evening, they did a gig in Uno, and then which was totally bonkers, by the way. Remember the first night? It was
Yes,
off
I
the
do.
And on the second day, they had a day party in Bora Bora again, but it wasn't just for hotel guests, it's for everyone. And I think a lot of people got confused around that. I don't think it was technically part of the festival because we weren't paying on wristbands or anything. We were just paying with cash at the bar and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it was just sort of like something the hotel did um, for a laugh. I don't know, but it was a nice. I thought let's go along and see if we can chance it, and luckily it paid off. So yeah, if you ever get a
Yeah.
chance to go, check it out. It's kind of nice. It's very small, but I like the little stage they've got and stuff, and the pool's quite nice. And yeah, it's definitely worth checking it out if you're in the area. Definitely.
Yeah, Dave, I'd like to think you're a bit of an expert when it comes to pool parties, but yeah, you definitely got your expertise all on that because we love stuff like that. And also, I'll also mention the pool was great. Really
Yeah,
nice.
it's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, very nice pool. Yeah, and exactly like you said, stage was great, spaces and everything. Yeah, all very good. And I'll bring you on to the part two of that. We'll round up Malta in general, but obviously second part of the festival. Obviously, soon essentially when Rong Open Air Festival ended, you can imagine what us three at the time were like. We were absolutely pooped because we were so tired because obviously we'd been partying for 4 days straight. So of course Monday and Tuesday. I don't even remember what did we even do on Monday. I don't think we did anything, did we?
To the beach, I think. Oh
We
no,
just
we just slept at the pool in the hotel.
Yeah, we just literally we was just resting, sleeping, like just really not doing anything all day, and we just like I barely lifted a finger.
We did go to Cafe Del Mar, which is a bit of a hack. If you go to Cafe Del Mar for a festival over there, if you can go there when there's not a festival on, because
Yeah,
it's really good. It's
yeah,
worth it as well. You can get a bed for quite cheap if there's a bunch here, and it's really nice. So we went to Cafe Del Mar, and we also went to Tortuga for some scran. And that's definitely
yes, yeah. So yeah, it's worth definitely quickly mentioning some of the things we did in the interim before the Sunnyside Festival went on. So yes, as Dave mentioned, I think it was on the Wednesday. The Wednesday we went to Cafe Del Mar, and that was when no festival was occurring. And it was definitely a day where we felt a bit fancy pants because obviously we'd booked a gazebo, and that wasn't cheap. And then obviously loads of cocktails, loads of food and everything. And the food's great. Like maybe it's just me being an old person now. We're saying, "Oh, the food's great," but like obviously we go there to party and everything. Yeah, that's all great and all, but Cafe Del Mar is also a very good restaurant, and it's got great drinks, great cocktails, really good quality stuff. So yeah, I'll definitely say Cafe Del Mar, you're doing it right because I
If you
felt
ever
great.
if you're ever in Bajiba, look for the planets because these guys don't look like.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, the planets. Yeah, along the Maltese Riviera in Bajiba, there is a solar system exhibition, if you like, but it's there permanently, basically. But yeah, it gives you a perspective about like how far planets are in the solar system because they've got that
And
installed all along the Maltese Riviera.
Promenade, which we basically went to every day. So yeah.
Yeah, that's also a very good highlight, and gives you a bit of perspective actually, because obviously we were just literally talking about how expensive food and drink can be in festivals and in clubs and everything, but we constantly went to you'd call it like a roadside trailer cafe thing, I guess, but it's like on a pedestrian walkway along the Maltese Riviera in Bajiba. It's called Promenade Cafe. Dave Collins, we love it, don't we?
It's amazing. And the best thing about these festivals is you could go in and out as much as you wanted. You weren't stuck in there. I remember we went to Cafe Del Mar. I was feeling hungry, and you can get food at Cafe Del Mar and pay an absolute wedge.
Yeah.
Or you can go to like literally 2 minutes down the road and get a greasy ass chicken burger or something. Go back in.
Yep. And what was
Brilliant.
great, yeah, and this is where Promenade really came into its prominence really with all of us, because not only was Promenade just a very well run cafe,
Pizzas were well nice actually.
it's so nice because
Lower those pizzas as well. They're well cheap.
oh yeah, like €12, and like it's just great, and like there was like a beautiful seaside area where you could just sit and look at the sea. But this may blow everyone's mind here when I say this, but now we were talking about things being expensive, but like I remember this clear as day. Me and Dave go there, right? And we order. Dave gets a cappuccino. I get un cafe, or basically an espresso.
That's the view from Promenade right there.
There's the view as well. Look at that view as well. So imagine that as well, right? 2 little cakes as well, right? So that's 4 things plus a bottle of water, €4.50 for all of that.
Is it for you? No, you must have made a mistake on that, bro.
No, that I checked it. It was €4.50 for all of that.
That's crazy.
Absolute brilliant. Like that is such great value. Don't get me wrong, the cakes were not like massive. They're like this big.
Little tiny like
Little
sushi.
bites, little
Yeah.
cake bite things. But 2 coffees and 2 of those little cake things and the bottle of water for €4.50. That to me blew my bloody socks off. And like
Things.
it was great. It was so great to go back there all the
The
time.
last place I recommend if you do go in that area, check out Casablanca because it's just great. You could the food in there is devilishly good, isn't it? It's oh
Yeah, we often actually said that the Casablanca food court area, a bit further down into near Bajuba town centre, is like festival food, but not at festival prices, thankfully.
basically yeah, but it's like full on. It's ridiculous. Yeah,
If you're hungry,
go there. Basically,
like you'll be all right if you go there. You know what I mean? But yeah, as mentioned, with what was it? Yeah, we also mentioned briefly about Tortuga Beach, which is the other another amazing venue, and it was another great venue to go to when there's no event on, because we did that last year, we did it this year, and one of the key takeaways from last year was how look at that. There you go. Look.
I don't know if it wouldn't even balance the light. It's that bright. Ah!
I know. Like, doesn't that say something? But Tortuga Beach is a fabulous place to go and eat, because last year the food was great and it was a key thing that I remember. And then when you go back to somewhere where it was great first time, and sometimes it's not the same. It wasn't like that. It was literally the same as last time, and it was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And Tortuga Beach, what a venue. I don't know whether that's like what the venue looks like. Is there anyone who can see that?
Your blur filter's messing it up.
Yeah, no, it is a bit. No, yeah, unfortunately, you can't see much of it there. But yeah, essentially, the food there, super fresh, super nice. Drinks, the mocktails that me and Al had were just amazing. Mango coladas, very sweet but beautiful. And it's just it's a beautiful time out there to go and have some lunch, because the food's just phenomenal. And it's not even that expensive either. It's very, very reasonable.
A quick shout out to Rong. I just saw that video I recorded. That's from the second room. So it gives you an example.
You see, look at that. Like,
anyway, we better talk about the sunny side.
Yeah, because we've got 10 minutes left. So let's quickly go through that as well. So Sunnyside Festival was like a sort of tech house, techno, deep house sort of festival. A lot more low key, I would argue, compared to Rong Open Air Festival. But in my opinion, I absolutely loved it. It was just amazing. It was so good.
My highlight, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that, because Sunnyside Festival for 2025 edition was very similar to how Rong Open Air operates. all the parties were happening in Uno Village in the nighttime, and there was a few day parties as well. One of them was obviously just at Uno in the early afternoon, but the other one was the beach party at Tortuga Beach. Absolutely fantastic day out once again. Unfortunately, it was very windy that day, so if you were at the beach, it was not chilly, but you could feel the breeze. Let's just put it that way. It was very strong winds. But when actually under like this gazebo tent thing, like a one of those ones with holes in it, just to give you a bit of shade, it was fantastic in there. Everyone was up for it for the party. Everyone was really nice. And a particular artist duo, JNJS, were brilliant there. Absolutely fantastic set. Really, really great party. A really nice mix of English and Italians. And for those who don't know, I speak both languages, so it kind of helps with me for talking to people. But great party again. And Dave, I don't know whether you remember this as well, but Tortuga Beach we're doing festival foods there, but not at crazy prices. Huge margarita slice pizza for €6, but it was basically like 2 slices.
It was a quarter of a pizza.
A quarter of a pizza, yeah, I would say.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, very much so. So again, lots of bonus points there as well. And just a great, really, really good beach party. And again, it was good. Like the consistency for Sunnyside Festival, like I can't speak for it's just brilliant. Especially that. And then obviously going into the nighttime, there was some great acts that we also split up a little bit, but I was with Warren for quite a bit of it for these parties. Sunya Munir was excellent again. Sam Bengora, I think his name was. He was very good as well. It was another very good highlight.
And again, on the first night they had sound problems. You remember that? And it kept like messing up.
Yeah, that was first night. That was I think it was a guy on his laptop or something. I think his laptop was like freaking out or something like that. And yeah, that was a bit unfortunate. Overall, music was just brilliant, and I Shazammed quite a lot of it. So sorry if any of you DJs are tuning in. I couldn't help it. There was so many good tunes that I heard that I just thought I have to know what some of these are because I want to play some. And I played one track that I heard at Sunnyside Festival last night. So I can't help it. It was really good. So actually, I may as well plug it, but that is Harry Wills and Mikey Sebastian with The Sweatbox. It's such a funny track. It's such a great
track of the festival, mate.
Yeah. So I Wonder track. Yeah, that was something that Warren was insisting on us listening to. Really great track. That was the Louis Vega Roots mix as well. That's a really nice production. But yeah, I want to get on to talking about probably the best highlight of Sunnyside Festival, which was the boat party that happened on the Sunday that was managed by Trommel Music that had Amish and Toby there and Nesta. Didn't catch Nesta actually because I was too busy chilling out at the front of the boat for the first half, but Amish and Toby was
amazingly worth it. And
explain it, Dave.
So there's a boat that goes out from Valletta, I think it is. Is it Valletta?
More, like Sleamer, but next to it.
Sorry, which is opposite Valletta. And it goes out and you're blasting techno music all the way. You can sit on the roof of the boat, sit on the back, chill out. DJ booth is just like this little tiny space with massive sound systems, and the toilet's fucking hilarious. It's just so stupid. And I actually found out after we went, the cost we paid to get on that boat party was the cost you paid to get on the boat anyway for like a random tour.
Oh, well, there you go then.
110% worth going if you manage to get one of them. I showed a picture before. I'll get it back up again. But it's with a company called Captain Morgan Cruises or something weird like that. So random. But that was the boat. That was the boat. And it was amazing. And that little
beautiful
area here is where everyone was partying. So
yeah. And an absolutely beautiful boat to have a boat party on as well. That was the first boat party I've been on where that was the boat, like a classic wooden like pirate ship vessel. You know, it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And
I wanted to go again. I was so desperate. I was like, let's do it. Let's go.
yeah, like I was the same. Like I was so ready to go on the next one. And the reason why, obviously, we wanted to do this is because, and this is something I explained to our friend Warren, because it was his first time on a boat pie. But what I was basically saying, that the last time all of us as a group, there we are, look. So there's our other friend Alex as well. But what I was just going to say is the last time that we went on a boat party was in 2014. So as of the time of this recording, that was 11 years ago. So obviously it was a long ass time ago since we went on a boat party. So for me, I was just thinking, you know, I remember literally every boat party I've been on, because they were all eventful in the right ways, thankfully. They're just amazing, because you get to know people all quite a bit as well, like if you're chatty like me, I guess. But just great vibes in the boat parties. Everyone's always up for it most of the time. And this one did not disappoint. €35 extra, but totally worth every penny, right, Dave?
Definitely. And yeah, I suppose if you want to try and check out a place that's like Ibiza, but not quite as expensive as Ibiza, check out Malta and some of these festivals, because they do them every single week. The week we left, they did the Double XL, which is Warehouse Project's brand. We're doing one the week after. And there's actually one I want to go back for later on in the year, to be honest with you. I think I'm really tempted. And just before I forget, there's one more food place in Bijou you've got to check out, because we went there 3 times, and that was Cups.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Cups. Oh man, yeah. Korean food, folks. Like, yeah. What can I say? Absolutely fantastic food. The food's amazing. If you want spicy chicken or spicy Korean chicken with God, I could so eat that right now.
Sunnyside was amazing, really good. Rong was really good this year as well.
Yeah,
I want to go back for more festivals later on in the year, and I got an email from Rong today saying, "Do you want to sign up for next year?" And I was close, man. I was close to just saying, "Yeah, let's go."
It is funny you should say this, actually, because it's had a strong effect with Warren as well, because he told me privately, he told me the other day, actually, that he's intending to try and go to another festival in Malta in September. It's not the Injuna Deep one, it's something else. He sent me a lineup for it, and he said, "I want you to come with me if you can." I don't know whether I can, but he's already trying to lay down the groundwork to go.
I'm going, and this is the one I saw.
Captured Festival, eh?
Oh, yeah, the line looks amazing.
I don't think it's that one. I think it's something else. But as you said, you're very right, though. There's loads of festivals going on over there. And just like you said as well, if you want to try somewhere else that's kind of like Ibiza, but not fully and not as expensive as Ibiza, Malta is a strong number 2, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and they love the nights as well for some reason. Nights are everywhere, and castles, and it's very random.
Ah, yes.
Great.
Yeah, that's it's a wee bit of that Maltese culture. But yeah, in closing for episode 4, obviously Malta is fresh in our mind, but we can definitely say that Malta is definitely worth visiting, especially from the UK as well, or anyone that is an English speaker, because the primary language is English there anyway. So obviously there's an ease for conversing in the English language, which is very good. If you're also Italian and you speak Italian, there's still quite a few people there that speak Italian as well, so it's also quite handy. What's that, Dave? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's another one of those many nights that you're going to see in Malta. And of course, there's so many festivals on the festival calendar going on in Malta in the summer season. It's good. It's very, very, very good. And the weather, as you said, Dave, it's great. I'm being picky by saying it's very windy, I'll be honest, but the weather's great.
It's fine. Don't worry about the wind. It's
great. But that would more or less round up the the episode 4 of the Change Face podcast. Yeah. I can't say what we're going to be talking about in the next episode, but I can say already that one of the topics is about faking DJ sets. That's a topic I've already got penciled in for the next episode.
Oh, no.
That is going to be can of worms a wee bit. But in the closing statements, Dave, that's more or less episode 4 done. What can we say here? So for our introduction, I nearly forgot about it then. Got a few seconds left. Let's go, quick.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. And remember, if you want some good music, Mixcloud Select.
Yeah, and find us on YouTube, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcast from, and look us up on Change Face Radio. That's it. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.